What if the person you love most stands between life and death, and all you can do is pray? Tonight, you'll witness the most powerful miracle of love and faith. Linda, caught in the battle to give life, faces the edge of darkness, while Quang and his mother kneel outside, their hearts breaking with every passing second. But when hope seems lost, a light appears. The cry of baby Sophia changes everything. Stay with us until the end of this emotional journey, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more heart-touching stories of love and miracles. The sterile scent of disinfectant filled the air as Quang stood frozen in the hospital corridor, his heart pounding with every muffled sound from the delivery room. The bright red light above the door blinked like a cruel reminder that life and death were wrestling inside those walls. Inside, Linda was fighting her hardest battle. Her breath came in shallow, trembling waves, and her body was drenched in sweat. The doctor's voices rose and fell, urgent, sharp. "She's losing strength," one nurse called out. "Prepare for an emergency C-section if necessary." Quang's hands trembled as he pressed them together, his knuckles white. His mind raced with fear, replaying every moment they had shared. Her laughter when he painted their baby's room, the soft way she placed his hands on her belly when little Sophia kicked for the first time. He had promised her he'd be strong, that he'd protect her, but now he could do nothing but wait, helpless and terrified. Every second stretched into eternity. Beside him, his mother clutched a small rosary, whispering prayers through her tears. "Dear Lord, please, please save them both," she murmured, her voice shaking. Quang turned to her, his eyes red and hollow. For the first time in his life, he felt utterly powerless. No amount of love, money, or strength could fight this battle for Linda. All he could do was believe, in faith, in hope, in something greater than himself. From inside the room came a sharp cry, not from a baby, but from Linda. Quang's knees nearly buckled. He wanted to rush in, to hold her hand, to take away her pain. But the nurse guarding the door shook her head firmly. "Please, sir, you can't go in right now." He backed away slowly, leaning against the cold wall, tears spilling down his cheeks. He whispered her name over and over, as though she might hear him through the chaos. Time became meaningless. Minutes, hours, it all blurred together in a haze of fear and prayer. The corridor was silent, except for the beeping of a distant monitor and the soft sound of his mother's whispered Hail Mary. Then suddenly, the red light above the door flickered. The shouting inside grew louder, then faded into an eerie stillness. Quang's breath caught in his throat. The world seemed to stop. He fell to his knees, eyes squeezed shut, heart hammering. "Please, God," he choked out, "not her, not our baby." His mother knelt beside him, their hands clasped tightly together, two souls united in desperate prayer. The clock on the white hospital wall ticked with merciless precision, each second piercing through Quang's chest like a dagger. He sat slumped on the cold bench outside the delivery room, his fingers tangled in his hair, eyes swollen from crying. The red light above the door still glowed, a silent symbol of struggle and uncertainty. His mother sat beside him, her lips moving continuously in prayer, the rosary gliding between her trembling fingers. The hallway smelled faintly of antiseptic and fear, a smell Quang would never forget for the rest of his life. Every minute felt like a lifetime. Somewhere deep inside that room, Linda was still fighting. He could picture her face, pale but determined, the way she used to whisper to their unborn daughter, "Be strong, little one. Mommy's here." His heart clenched as he thought of how she must be hurting, alone among masked doctors while he could only sit here, useless. If only he could trade places, bear the pain for her, he would do it without hesitation. His mother's hand found his, her touch warm and trembling. "Son, believe in God's mercy. He won't abandon them." Quang nodded weakly, though faith was the only thing he had left to hold on to. He knelt on the polished floor, his voice cracking as he prayed aloud. "Lord, please, please don't let me lose her. Don't let me lose our child. I'll do anything, I'll give anything, just please." His tears fell freely, darkening the floor beneath him. The corridor was quiet except for the steady hum of fluorescent lights. Then suddenly, a burst of frantic footsteps. Nurses hurried past with instruments, their faces serious but composed. Quang's heart leapt into his throat. He rose instinctively, wanting to follow, but his mother pulled him back. "No, Quang, trust them." He froze in place, helpless, watching the door that held his entire world behind it. Then came the longest silence of all. The shouting inside the delivery room faded into a strange calm. Even the machines seemed quieter. Quang's breathing quickened, his palms were slick with sweat. Was this the end? His mind screamed for answers, but the world gave him none. He stood motionless, staring at the door as if sheer willpower could open it. And then, it did. The door swung open, and a doctor stepped out, his face tired but smiling. He said, "Congratulations. Both mother and baby are safe. It was difficult, but they made it." For a moment, Quang couldn't move. The words didn't register. Safe? Both of them? His mind struggled to catch up. Then the weight of it crashed into him like a wave. He stumbled forward, covering his face with his hands, sobbing uncontrollably. His mother's cry of relief echoed beside him as she clasped her hands to the sky. When he finally looked up, tears blurred his vision, but through the blur, he could see hope again. The light above the door had turned off. The fight was over. God had listened.
Quang pushed the door open with trembling hands, his breath unsteady, heart racing faster than it had ever before. The bright, sterile light of the delivery room bathed everything in a golden hue, as if heaven itself had descended upon that space. Linda lay on the hospital bed, her face pale but peaceful, her head damp and clinging to her forehead. Yet even in exhaustion, she was the most beautiful sight he had ever seen. In her arms, no, on her chest, was the tiniest, most perfect little being he had ever laid eyes on, Sophia. The nurse smiled gently and whispered, "She's doing skin to skin with her mother. It helps her feel safe." Quang's throat tightened as he stepped closer. His knees felt weak, his body weightless, as if all the fear and pain of the last few hours had melted away. Linda looked up at him, her eyes glassy with tears, and whispered in a voice barely audible, "She's here, Quang, our little Sophia." He sank to his knees beside the bed, tears streaming down his face freely now, unashamed. "You did it," he breathed, his voice breaking. "You both made it." He reached out, his trembling finger brushing against Sophia's soft cheek. The baby stirred slightly, her tiny lips parting, a faint coo escaping as if acknowledging the world she had just entered. Quang's heart exploded with a warmth he had never known before. Linda smiled faintly, her voice hoarse but full of love. "She looks like you," she teased, though her words were half a whisper. Quang laughed softly through tears. "Then she's already perfect." His mother entered quietly, her hands clasped in prayer. When she saw the baby, her face lit up with a glow of pure grace. She reached out, touching Sophia's tiny hand with trembling fingers, whispering, "Welcome, little angel. You're a blessing." The morning sun filtered through the hospital curtains, painting the room in soft gold. It fell gently upon the family, mother, father, and their newborn child, turning that fragile, fleeting moment into something eternal. Quang took Linda's hand, squeezing it tenderly. "I thought I lost you," he confessed, his voice low and trembling. "But God heard us. He gave you back to me, both of you." Linda's eyes shimmered as she looked at him. "We never lost faith," she said. "That's what brought her here." Sophia let out a small cry, her first real sound, thin, sweet, and full of life. Quang leaned in, his lips brushing Linda's forehead. "Thank you," he whispered, "for being brave, for giving me this miracle." Linda smiled, tears of joy tracing her cheeks. "She's our miracle," she murmured. Outside, the world carried on as usual. Cars moved, people hurried, but inside that quiet hospital room, time seemed to stop. The air was filled with gratitude, love, and the sacred sound of new life breathing for the first time. And in that moment, Quang knew, no matter what hardships awaited them, they had already touched heaven. Her name was Sophia.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Ní Tử Ninda Review. Vậy là trong câu chuyện của chúng ta ngày hôm nay, Ninda và Quang đã mường tượng ra giây phút khi mà Ninda trong quá trình sinh Sophia. Đó là một giây phút rất là hồi hộp, và cuối cùng thì Ninda cũng đã vượt qua với sự cầu nguyện của Quang và mẹ. Sophia đã ra lời rất là mạnh khỏe. Mọi tình tiết hấp dẫn về câu chuyện tình yêu Quang và Nina sẽ còn được kể trong câu chuyện tiếp theo. Các bạn hãy bấm vào nút subscribe để nhận được thông báo mới nhất về các tập phim sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh Lý Tử Ninda Review nha. Cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại vào tập tiếp theo. Bye bye.